Thank you all for your patience today, and all the best to you. Congratulations. All right, I will now call up, we have two people here related to the Produce Perks area and food. We have Alex Buck and Pete Dorley, so you two will be next. Who would like to go first? Oh. Are you Alex or
Yes.
Pete? Okay.
Yes.
Hello,
I'm
Alex. And I thank you for your patience, and I think the beautiful thing is it looks like you both have businesses that are supporting this initiative. And when you look at all the families, the kinds of families that you are helping all around the state, you know, there's been a lot of representation, so you should feel very good about what you're doing, and we truly appreciate what you are doing for Ohioans. Proceed, please.
Great, thank you. Chairwoman White, Vice Chairwoman Salvo, Ranking Member Lett, and members of the House Children and Human Services Committee, thank you for the opportunity to provide testimony today on House Bill 96. My name is Alex Buck, and I serve as the president of Fruit Growers Marketing Association, which is a cooperative of over 40 Ohio farms that grow apples, peaches, corn, tomatoes, and potatoes for the Ohio food banks. I'm here today to share my experience with the Ohio Food Program, a longtime partnership between Ohio's Food Bank Network, Ohio's agricultural community, and the state of Ohio. Fruit Growers Marketing Association has participated in the program for 29 years, and the relationship has been instrumental to our operations. Our farms grow and distribute over 5 million pounds of fresh fruits and vegetables to the Ohio food banks every year. This partnership ensures that the food banks have access to healthy and affordable food grown in their communities. Having this partnership can give the farmer an opportunity to receive compensation for imperfect produce that may have a cosmetic flaw or may be too big or small for a retail chain. Our farmers do not discriminate against whom they want to feed. We want to feed everyone in our community, not just those that can afford to shop at the big box retailers. Local farms in Ohio do not have a robust distribution system and are unable to service by ourselves the 3,600 food pantries, churches, soup kitchens, and other hunger relief agencies, so we rely on the 12 Ohio Feeding America food banks to supply them for us. Supporting the state budget request not only helps those going through economic hardships, but also helps the Ohio farmers. The Ohio Food Program allows food banks to purchase produce at an affordable price from the farms. Since March 2020, farming costs have increased by 40% on expenses like labor, crop insurance, fuel, raw materials, chemicals, and packaging. Budget cuts on the program will result in farmers leaving crops on the fields and not harvesting if the returns do not offset the expenses. This will lead to less product for the food banks, less income for the local farms, and an increased cost in products being sourced out of state and the freight associated with procurement. I'm a husband of a loving and patient wife and a father of two wonderful children who are 8 and 9 years old. My hometown, located in Stark County, is Marlboro Township, where 48% of families live below the poverty line and are eligible for food bank services. Almost half of my children's classmates struggle with food insecurities. Our family donates whatever we can to the community, but it's not enough, and I know there are many other towns out there like ours around Ohio. From a farmer and a family living in an economically stressed community, we are asking for your help. Chairwoman White and distinguished members of the House Children and Human Services Committee, thank you again for the opportunity to testify. On behalf of Fruit Growers Marketing Association, I'm happy to answer any questions members may have at this time.
Thank you so much, Mr. Buck. Are there questions? Well, I want to thank you for your patience, and I also want to ask you, so you are a farmer yourself?
Yes.
And what can we do? This is a wonderful program, and I guess I would like to know, what can we do to encourage and support more farmers as legislators within our communities to participate in this program? I know farmers have a lot of needs, especially with the drought and other things that have impacted our state, but is there anything in particular that would help you all in what you're trying to do?
Yeah, so one of the things that would help is is helping with our H-2A labor reform regarding our H-2A costs for migrant labor is priced not affordable for Ohio in comparison to other states in the region. So we're at a competitive disadvantage. So, but as far as the Ohio food banks, we really do need the funding for them so that they can continuously bring money back to the farms and the communities.
Thank you. And you bring up an interesting point that it is helping the farmers as well as the food banks. I don't know that I was really aware of that. And so thank you very much for coming in and for your patience today.
Yes, thank you very much.
All right. Next, we will call up Mr. Pete Dorley with Keystone Meats to provide testimony. Thank you very much also for your patience today. And if you need, I feel like anyone else who's left, if you need more than 4 minutes, take whatever you need because you've been very patient. And, we just want to make sure you're heard. Thanks.
No problem. Thank you for the time. Chairwoman White, Ranking Member Lett, and members of the House Children and Human Services Committee, thank you for the opportunity to testify today. Just to be clear, I want to make sure everyone understands I'm here in support of the Ohio Association of Food Banks and the Ohio Food Program. The Ohio Food Program has been a great program for my company, and so I'm going to tell you my firsthand experience with it and the benefit it's had on not only my business, but our workforce and the community, according to what we've seen. So my name is Peter Dorley. I'm the president of Keystone Meats. We're a family-owned and operated meatpacking business in Lima. And our business, what we do is we buy cattle from Ohio farmers. We harvest cattle and we process beef, chicken, pork, turkey. The primary output of our business is all natural, all Ohio canned meat. So we make the center of the plate, shelf-stable protein that is so critical to the food banks in their efforts in hunger relief. So I'm here just to share my personal experience with the Ohio Food Program, which is a longtime public-private partnership between Ohio's food bank network, Ohio's agricultural and business community, and the state of Ohio. As a business person engaged with agriculture, my purpose is just to show you one example. So the Ohio Food Program has become a key facet to our overall business strategy and a key part of our company culture at Keystone for probably about 10 years now. What we've done, just to give you an idea of a typical year of what our volume is, what we do for the food bank, we source roughly 900 to 1,000 cattle from Ohio farmers to support that program. That translates to nearly 5 million center of the plate portions of meat for Ohioans in need. We do this for the food banks at cost, no profit. We do that in order to maximize our production and to put as much food into the hands of the people, the Ohioans who need it. Now, no profit does not mean no benefit to us. This has been a great benefit to our business. I want to tell you just a couple of the benefits and then I'll wrap it up. So, no problem. The number one benefit, probably the most noticeable benefit, is the benefit to our workforce. The Ohio Food Program has kept our workforce more fully employed than it would be otherwise. We have less than 3% turnover. We have never laid anyone off, thanks in part to the Ohio Food Program. Another benefit is to our supply chain. Remember, our number one raw material is cattle from Ohio farmers. So the more we do for the Ohio Food Program, the more we benefit the farmers. And it's better for those farmers to deliver a full truckload of beef rather than a half truckload, obviously. So thanks to the food bank and the Ohio Food Program, we've been able to support that. The final benefit is keeping our capacity up in our plant and has enabled us to grow and position ourselves for future growth as a business, an Ohio food manufacturer. So in summary, the Ohio Food Program is an economic development program. The benefits of that program are, one, providing center-of-the-plate, shelf-stable protein to Ohioans in need. Obviously, that's number one. Number two, it promotes growth of Ohio food manufacturers like us. It also promotes and supports full employment in the manufacturing and agricultural sectors. So my ask is that you do everything that you can to support this partnership that directly connects Ohio's food manufacturers and farmers to Ohioans, families in need of hunger relief. And please restore the funding that has been cut from the Ohio Association of Food Banks. Chairwoman White and members, any questions? I'm here.
Thank you very much for coming in. Does anyone have a question? Representative Piccolantonio.
Thanks, Chair. And thank you, Mr. Dorley, for coming in. I probably actually had the same question for the prior testimony, but I'll ask you since you're standing here. Can you talk a little bit about how your costs have changed, particularly over the last maybe 5 years or so? Thanks.
Well, I think we've all experienced that, every household in the country maybe. Yes, raw material costs have gone up, labor has gone up. You gonna back me up? So yes, it's been a challenging environment, but you know, we work through it as best we can. Raw material costs have gone up. I'm in the meat business. Meat prices have gone up. Protein prices have gone up. The egg prices are in the news today. Shortage in cattle herds is a big problem in this country, and that's going to continue to impact us for some time. So how to talk about it, I don't know. It's gone up, and we've responded as best we can. We try to get creative, and we try to absorb as much as we can, get smarter in the way we do things, and pass along the best price we can. Like I said, providing to the food banks at our cost, but even given that cost is higher. So that's an important point, that what we have to charge the food banks just to cover our own cost has gone up. So they're experiencing higher costs, and so they can reach fewer families. So the funding is at a critical point right now for our family.
Yeah. And, from the farming aspect too, I mean, all of our costs have went up from the cost of chemicals, and that is going to continuously increase as the majority of our chemicals are sourced from China. So those are expenses that are looking to continuously increase over the next several years. Labor, as I mentioned before, labor costs are up. The majority of our labor for farming is no longer domestic. It is now migrant labor that's legally contracted out. But because there's no one domestically looking to become a farmer or wanting to farm, we do have to source labor from out of the country, which in turn costs a lot more. So fuel has went up. Our cost of raw materials, whether it's poles or trellis for high density growing practices for farming, and crop insurance has went up substantially too.
Thank you. I did want to follow up on that concept. So it's interesting because I'm thinking you're helping the food banks at cost, and I'm thinking, how's that benefiting you? And you shed some great light, Mr. Dorley, on that. Am I understanding correctly that basically it lets you keep your employees employed at full capacity, and you're meeting your costs? You're not making a profit on it, but you're meeting your costs, which in turn helps you retain staff. Is that kind of the cycle we're trying to look at?
Yeah, that's one of the biggest benefits. Our employees they have more full employment, more hours of pay. So they make more money. They provide for their families. They want to stay with us. They don't go looking for another job, trying to find some place where they can either get more hours or a higher wage. We try to be as competitive as we can, but yes, the labor is a big part of it. And then from a business standpoint, the more we run, the better we get. You know, downtime is bad for efficiency. Everybody knows that. And so the food bank in part has been able to have them to thank in part for keeping our production lines full and our supply chain full. The more we buy, the better buys we can get from our raw materials. So it helps us all the way around, even though we're, just covering our cost.
Very fascinating. It's a win-win proposition for everyone. So I want to thank you both for coming in and for your support of the Food Banks program, and thank you for your patience today. All right, and with that, I will call Emma Martinez from Ohio Right to Life. Thank you for your patience. And I just want to make sure, as far as our new witness, is there anyone